ebusuafo sisem ne mo kasa info bi enso atumi adrop ababonten a eche se esisi nsensem a e court e fada Lumba odobroni ne Akosua Serwaah ho won mo pe ono mienu de obedi kuna no sisi no nsem ne sibi ekeka kone de odobroni ento na adwene mo nda se wono mu ginagina nsem e ekosua so edi bua nsem yifo de a ne Akosua Serwaah atumi edi nkunim anaso watumi ababe yikuna no asem yi sisi no odobroni ehunu de oye efri se Akosua Serwaah atumi akosesa nkrata ekire se woni eye ye papa Charles Kwadwofusu adodo na anim ne friend Lumba e ware ye no wakosesa ni nyina aba ama sesi court ehwehwem no wanu magye autum se eye no kre eso ne ware sesi no de odobroni ne nabusuafo anas odobroni e fanfo egina so e kan se eye one Lumba Akosua Serwaah ene Lumba jaye na nsemi anoye den adofo mepese mimi na yakone akwakwaje nsem ne mu nkyeremu ye e de aba.
Team responsible wives and team odobroni munim say me filimo because I believe in responsible wives. Whether you have certificate or not, you need to be a very supportive and a responsible wife. But case we dear, I can tell you for a fact say a bedding say the court will not declare Yemami Akosua Serwaah as the only surviving spouse of Lumba. A bedding say case we Yemami Akosua Serwaah belusi. I didn't think America sir. A banner warrior, especially ordinance marriage, once there is legal requirement to show say Yemami Akosua Serwaah ni Lumba almost sign krata under ordinance no. And yeah, very difficult so be proof say a warrior no does not exist. Timothy say cross examination, yes of course. Although brony lawyer ni ebusuapin lawyers no, almost try almost best. Into cross examination, person almost say, oh Lumba. Any Yemami Akosua Serwaah firstborn no Calvin send name the cry another man din say Schneider or somewhere Yemami Akosua Serwaah di kan worry no. All those things no, it can still not terminate the marriage between Yemami Akosua Serwaah and Lumba based on the Ghana law. And I think although brony ne ebusuapin lawyers no munim but omo person omo case no ding Yemami Akosua Serwaah lawyer to prove marriage. All you need to prove is that there was the ordinance marriage. All you need to prove is that there were both parties, almost signing here. Until all Lumba, all Yemami Akosua Serwaah lawyer has to do is also prove you say Lumba is signing. Yemami Akosua Serwaah is signing. 2 witnesses from each side, from Lumba side, ebe signing. 2 witnesses from Yemami Akosua Serwaah side, ebe signing. That's the first one. And they must also prove say there is no divorce. Court bia and separate until whether omo den sako whether Yemami Akosua Serwaah jai Lumba wa Ghana whether wa mbehwe no Lumba yare wa mbehwe no whether o throw letters up so jai no all those things whether omo firstborn ekuta din foforo all those things does not qualify or does not, it's not enough to say there was a divorce. Some are catch them say same way di suya ade into separation, unfaithfulness, and so we jai obi ato ho even if there is confusion to the extent say mako the din separation beyond repairs and no in itself no and yet divorce, but you can use it as a party awu to file for divorce. Mamisi subio se oni ukunu confusion aba muntem ba kweja ba ko ho ba kwa kwatwempena awu aware nechi wo aware nechi a o partner betumi esi for bigamy which is punishable by law to say the Lumba any odobroni de no if it's proven say Yemami Akosua Serwaah any Lumba e ware under ordinance eye genuine and no omu betumi crazy odobroni any odobroni if they knew say Lumba ware no mo course ware come betumi esi Lumba but Lumba is no more to obi obekwa ko defend no court say omo ware no after Lumba ne Yemami Akosua Serwaah ordinance marriage no it is bigamy into no even odobroni lawyers no any ebusuapin lawyers no they cannot go and say that in court. All what they can do is to punch holes in the document, the certificate that shows a Lumba and Yemami Akosua Serwaah eware. If they're able to prove that that document is fake and it's false, so because of that there was no marriage, it is after that they can claim say Lumba eware. Yes sister odobroni nti edi suya ade separation say obi eje obi ni obi ntematete dejection so obi apo obi is not enough to say there was a divorce unless omo the court na court a sign and no pe na obetumi aka say there was divorce. In no case we ye maame Akosua Serwaah court or upper hand for court to declare her as the only surviving spouse. And my main case we enchemo because my catchem say case we nyesi eni hweye by the suade to build a better society. Case we the anti-crime say maame Akosua Serwaah or upper hand say the judge sitting on the case respectfully cannot take decisions on her own just like that. Judge not take case in this no. On to me so arrange the opekeke respectfully. She is bound by law and to follow a particular path. Let me explain. Ghana court system no ye will move in the DHA. So it starts with district courts and now circuit courts. So courts are a your neighborhood. Then after district courts, a high courts. Case we are yaking a high court. After high court, there is court of appeal. And this year higher than the high court. After the court of appeal, there is Supreme Court, and this year higher than court of appeal, high court, and district and circuit court. So, if the Supreme Court takes a decision, and now Supreme Court, Assembly Banner Supreme Court, it take a decision. The court of appeal, the high court, and the district court, they are all bound by the decisions of the Supreme Court. The same way court of appeal take a decision, all the lower court and the court of appeal, they are bound by the decisions of the court of appeal. In the case we, because there is a Supreme Court decided case, one Ernestina versus Mamisha the name. So there is a decided Supreme Court case, Ernestina Boateng versus Serwaah and two others in 2001. But Akosua say, "Bema na waka baby no or worry me." But at the end of the day, it was proven said, Bema no, now I worry that even though our no, it was from Krata and any proper marriage, court still a ruling say our no engineer. So because there is a Supreme Court decided case, say when it comes to Ghana, marriage and our no, ordinance marriage, you know, it is proven by legal requirement, which is the two parties signing and their witnesses, you know. A very say the high court judge ebema ruling different from Supreme Court. So yes sir, maame Akosua Serwaah and the lawyers no, they can go to court of appeal to appeal the case. Court of appeal no who say Supreme Court decided on the case, they will go by the ruling of the Supreme Court. Say omenya decision in crowd or court of appeal, they can still go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will always stand by omo decision. But the law allows the Supreme Court to deviate from their decisions if there are substantive differences in fact. What am I saying? In no case we obi our term rasi and obi follow the legal processes, you know. Oh, you have an idea, baby, a case, you know, ebe druba, because the judge in a way juma or what the authority to decide on it. Yeah, but to mean decide the case, otherwise to be contempt of court. But yeah, they church edisuade. But in America, even court decide say maame Akosua Serwaah na the only surviving spouse. It doesn't mean say chinchinachi or no pe ene be kuna e wo Lumba ye na se no ye di aka say eye ebusua no na be decide. Yes, of course, the society in ebusua no, they are bound by the rulings of the court. But in terms of sending ye no so no, untumi enchire busua ne send omunye ye no, nti technical ho kakra. Technical ho kakra. Apart from the be japadia makase yakase wo ye yira, mahu se document bi ni nam so ye yira wo ye next of kin. Wo ye yira unye the next of kin. Wo ye yire and the man no, be man na waka baby no ojawola ne wo no, and no mo be so de achi ne japadia. When jawola 3 out of 16 ebeko the wife or the wives that the court will determine. 9 out of 16 ebe konkolani hina ho. Inti no Calvin issue no, if it is true say Calvin the birth certificate and in the passport, the father also no, even though Lumba ankasa na ye ne father no, father also me be ma fofora and no so betimi amobi akọ challenge Calvin say only right to Lumba's property. Say a 9 out of 16 no for Nkwalani hina. That is if Lumba ain't jawo, which I doubt. Now 4 out of 16 so akwebusia for my cancer way. But me saying so because he is sunyade. Intino Timodo Broni, anything responsible wife. Moon relax it. And my moon taking it too personal. The only way case we yama me Akosua Serwaah betumi lose ne say ene na lawyers ne ye no so mo punch hole say document no e fake. And now say if they can prove say as at the time Lumba any yama me Akosua Serwaah be worry no Akosua Serwaah did not have the capacity just say that say wa worry that it has say wundi 18. That is say you don't have the capacity so be ra our remu. And now say if the document was fault it be a yachi obi din wom nipa no enye ono no sign obi sign man no. If Odobroni ni ebusuapanyin lawyers can prove that after yama me Akosua Serwaah so etumi show the certificate and no and a court in the say oh the marriage did not exist because the document is either didn't exist and a fraudulent and way. And when American judge on the case in the no or limitation in terms of what she can decide. Now mind you, case we almost decide there, but can't Ghana laws. And even other countries are also practicing common law can also reference this case. The possibility say Mami Akosua Serwaah be lose case we unless marriage certificate na ware na omo can fake. Even only original marriage certificate in Ukraine, they have every right to write to the German embassy or to the German government to verify whether there was a legitimate marriage between Lumba and Mami Akosua Serwaah. Say Germany embassy confirm say Oma ware na omo divorce in that document is coming from the right source in Germany from the embassy near the idea, then the court will declare Mami Akosua Serwaah as the only surviving spouse of Daddy Lumba. It means say our arena Daddy Lumba. If that happens, then it means say our arena Daddy Lumba no Odobroni ware no I null and void and court no ebetrim. But then amaka na ba na mamre any amane a Lumba ebusuafo ne ahemfo no mo be yeye no. Betimi aka say once Lumba ye Odobroni ho ade a there is tradition to show no. Ya be pene amana yekuna na maka kuna no nya say de beji edin ana de be show off ya de be ya amamre separate Lumba ene oba ana ema na oni omo aware amamre kwan so. And I'll be surprised if ebusuano omo anya sa ama Odobroni. I go by the name Justice the General. I try to share my little knowledge and I also try to be objective as much as possible. But minim say Emma Ghana ma bebre omo de ombe support Mami Akosua Serwaah because bebre na ewo ordinance marriage ni na bebre na si biso a ne maame ene nante ne papa ware ne papa jai no ne ade na mema bebre no so mema kakra na omo be support Mami Akosua Serwaah mema bebre na omo ye very mature da omo nim abrabo omo ti abrabo asen bebre na be support Odobroni. They may not say it, but bebre na be support. They may not say it maybe because of ibia omo jire no munti, but bebre na be support Odobroni because bema be a responsible wife or papa or bepo no be supporting not just from the beginning like Mami Akosua Serwaah but till the end to say the Odobroni here Kofosi Lumba nye and so sa bema ya Odobroni to mean 17 years ewo and ma 6 matemase na emema kakra na be support Mami Akosua Serwaah no bebre na ye mema na omo ne single mothers etina ye no nti ne mema bebre na omo support Mami Akosua Serwaah no it's either so many single mothers etina ye omo nyini no their fathers were not there. What I say nti no omo they don't even understand what it takes to be a man and they don't even know say ye bema wa asas beginning ashase no o wa ho de be call beba but we no usually eya mema bebre ye mobo ye nyini a ye yare mu ni ade nti no me hu se bema bi e support Mami Akosua Serwaah minim say is either a single mother na raise no na wa cancel bebre afa ne papa ho ama nti ono no oti asen we ya ne buafu Lumba dedenden na ne buafu Odobroni because ne Mami aka kire ne say one ne papa na pere ye na bibia ekoso na abayo abi ebeje ne papa nti na omo bre ana nti na omo papa anhwe omo no nti sa mema ne de me I don't blame them. Most of them did not have men in their lives when they were growing. Nti no they don't know what it takes to be a man. I go by the name Justice the General. My tre margin also share margin. I'm out.